So, good evening and welcome to the Town of Belgrade Planning Board meeting of November 6th, 2025. It is 6:03 and we'll call the meeting to order. Roll call. Tonight we have present with us Mrs. Penny Morale and Mr. Rich Baker and Mr. Nicholas Carl and Mr. Peter Surgeon, Mr. George Seal, and Mr. Craig Alexander, and myself, Sarah Langet. Also, we have in attendance our CEO, Hans Rasmussen, who step out briefly to get a document. And we have a quorum of the board, so we'll go forward with it. Now, I will ask the people in the audience, make sure that they sign the attendance sheet. And just for our minute taker, can you state your names, please?
I'm Tanya Athens.
Thank you. So, and you guys are with the Lake and Natural Resource Committee, correct? Thank you. So that said, we'll proceed with the new business. And the new business A that we have is for applicant Cooley subdivision. Beaky Cooley and Adam Ellis, location Brooker Road, map 17, lot 17G, purpose is subdivision preliminary. And last time we talked about this application, they were supposed to bring additional information. And I guess that's not have been provided yet.
Yeah, the DEP has not given them their report yet on their wintering area,
Okay,
so.
so we probably will have to table this this application. So we'll entertain a motion to table the application.
Okay, motion table include subdivision. Application.
So Mr. Alexander have placed a motion to table the application. Do I hear a second? Mr. Sakaro, I second the motion. Any further discussion on item A in the agenda? I hear none, so we proceed to vote. Mr. Sakaro,
Yes.
Mr. Surgeon,
Yes.
Mr. Seal,
Yes.
Mr. Alexander, and Ms. Sarah Langet is 5 in favor, none opposed to table the item A in the agenda. We proceed with item B, which is article for shoreline zone, shoreline zone map update. And we have,
So with Tyler,
that's retired.
He's on his way.
let's push that back now.
We can do that. And then I was asked by the chair of the Lake and Natural Resource Committee to see if after item B was discussed to move them up in the agenda, because they're in the discussion part of the agenda, which is at the end, for the site visit for buffer change.
Stuart, right
What was that?
now?
We wanna do it right now? We agree to do that? The board is amicable to do that? So let's do that. I conceded to him in the discussion, anything something between 20 to 30 minutes at most. So we will move from item B to discussion. Right now, we're gonna move that up right after A to discuss on the site visit that we the board had on Thursday, October the 30th. And we went to Cedar Village in Oakland. And we were presented with a site that this on Lake Smart protocol or tryout of doing a no mowing area. We have a picture here about one end of the site, which starts right, almost right in the front of that raft. And there's a second picture, I think. It's much better. I will see there, our model, Mr. Seal. So the normal zone starts almost right in front, maybe a foot or two in front of Mr. Seal. And it went from that edge all the way to the lake. I want to say something about like 15 feet, maybe 15 to 20 feet. That ballpark. More, yeah. Yeah, so that said, this site visit, Mr. Alexander was present, Mr. Baker was present, Mr. Seal was present, and myself, I was present, and we, Mr. Alexander, yeah, and we have direct eyes on how, this NOMO, site works and how it looks like. So that said, besides that, I wanna call the board attention to an email related by Mr. Chris Bradley. I wanna say that was sent like either Friday or Saturday, last Friday or Saturday. It's a very interesting one-page testimony of a resident, and the name of the resident is Pam Wilkinson. And
Turn sideways.
what was that?
So they would turn sideways in the packet. Oh,
This one,
So it's a sheet that has in the front, two pictures, and then in the back it right up. These people that had done this in Lake Sebago. And this resident had done this in Lake Sebago, and they were kind enough to place a very detailed little article, one-page article about their experience in creating this. They provided a picture of how the site looked in 1998 and how the site looks now in 2025. So I think it's really, pictures are worth 1,000 words. The resident going to detailing even the species of plants that they have in that NOMO. And that it took 10 to 15 years to 10 to 15 years to look like, a lawnmower cart all the way to the edge of the lake to what we see now. That is, I would say my guess is something tall, wild grass tall, about 2 feet maybe or so. So, very interesting, very succinct article, and very mind filling in terms of how this works. So with that, if a member of the Lake and Natural Resources can refill in on where we stop in the discussion, the way I remember it, and maybe they can correct me. There is a suggestion for the change of the shoreline zone that basically depicts the need to have, or the new owners or whatnot have about 30% of no-mow area in the lot, in the front of the lot, a minimum width of 30 feet from the lake shore towards the property, or 30% of the distance between the shore and the principal structure. So that said, the site visit that we attended was to have a visual, each one of us in our mind, a visual of how that looks. I don't know, any member from the Lake and Natural Resource Committee have any other input besides what I just related?
Can I say something?
You have a copy of what, you know.
Chris Riley said.
Yes, establishing a recovery buffer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I think it doesn't have any extra words. I think it's pretty.
It's pretty good, yeah,
clear.
yep. So that's the one that's magic of no mo. Is the article.
Right, that's the article.
Well, what I'm saying is the proposed change to the Belgrade shoreline zoning ordinance.
Oh, we got that.
Yeah.
Alright, so, any comments from the board? Right,
So I thought the proposed change was when they come in for a permit, they had to adopt this no-mow zone,
yeah,
so that's not switching owners. It's whenever they come in for a shoreline
It
permit.
says that when they committed for the permit, we're discussing.
when they come up with, for a permit, that's right.
And this
the only time we have jurisdiction.
change.
Yes.
Sure.
Sure,
Um,
Mr. Steele.
again, thank you so much for organizing that for us. It was quite helpful for me because I focused on the no mow part of this strip rather than the fact that what it really looked like was a planted buffer strip. Rather than just simply, you know, non-native grasses that were allowed to grow for a year. I mean, it looked to me like it was far more effective than just plain old grass would be, given that it's shallow root, grasses are shallow rooted, all that. And this was a more heterogeneous kind of buffer strip. So that was a good clarification, and I personally would prefer not to even talk about no mow. I'd rather talk about this as a buffer strip. Because I think it's misleading because what we saw, if that's the goal, that was more than just an area, a stretch of lawn that was no longer, wasn't mowed on a regular, weekly or bi-weekly or whatever. It was something that had obviously been planted with a lot of native plants, and it was taller than your lawn grass would get if you didn't mow it. And so had more capacity to slow down runoff and infiltrate runoff than grass would. And so this is what I got out of that is this is a different animal than what I perceived before.
Can I say something about that? It was. Nobody planted anything except on the extreme. The outer parts, all the part that you saw came up naturally. Nobody planted anything except where you saw some non-native plants that were planted along. People did it along their entrance to their docks, but the part in the middle was all native. Nobody put anything in there.
The article that was, came from Maine Lakes Association that I sent on, I don't know if you, got a chance to read that.
Yeah.
I believe that was all just not mowing it and just letting it go. And that was, isn't that the sort of point of that article is that, this is what happens when you don't mow something. It may take a while, for the native plants to see themselves in it.
But mow, you said we can mow it twice a year. And comment George made while he was there, he didn't see scientifically where that little bit of buffer was gonna make a big of a difference. So I can tell you right up front, I'm not gonna force somebody to do no mow when they come in to get a permit for a dormer. It's just not gonna happen with me.
The
I got a question.
Go ahead.
What, on this one, this particular one you visited, what was the degree of the slope going down the 30 degree? 40 degree or
Uh.
0 degree or what?
I wanna say it was something between 15 to 20, you will say, Mr. Baker? Yeah, 15.
Yeah, most 15.
15.
Okay. Alright,
Yeah, you see the pictures there?
yeah, okay, so, alright, so. This proposed, if let's say it was 1%. Some of these places are pretty flat, I have
Yeah,
a place
yeah,
like it's
yeah,
flat,
yeah.
right, it's 0.
Yeah, so it's mine,
Right,
yeah.
so this particular proposed change doesn't take the degree of the slope into consideration whatsoever, okay? Our current laws do take in consideration slope, we got if it's on a really steep slope, we got the area in that particular part. The setbacks further off, it's more stringent, right, over by okay? But this law doesn't take into account whatsoever any kind of slope, right? That's a concern of mine. There's another way to skin a cat here. Why can't you put in buffers, a berm down by the edge of the water there? Build it up, so the water comes down, it gets caught in, it's like a dam. And it sits there and it goes into the soil. This hasn't been, that particular approach hasn't been considered whatsoever. So. Those are my basically two concerns about what we have in front of us. And I wouldn't go along with this ordinance at all. For those reasons.
Would there be anything you would go along with, Peter, as far as, another change to it, or,
I just mentioned them.
what's that?
Were you listening?
Yeah, I was.
I just mentioned them,
So if you did those, it would be okay,
maybe.
maybe, okay.
Okay, another thing I'll bring up, the lake's been turning green, all right? Past 4 or 5 years, the dams committee has kept the lake up high, been really high, and I've lost about 2 or 3 feet of my property. My neighbors have too. And guess what happens to all that soil that gets washed in to the, it gets washed into the water. And that increases the phosphorus tremendously, all right, around half the lake anyways. So this doesn't take that consideration at all. So what I'm getting at is different approaches to take than this particular one here.
My thoughts are,
Start somewhere.
uh. I appreciate Peter's concern about the slope. I also have some thoughts of. It's not the answer to everything, but it would cut down some of the runoff. Certainly be erosion control, which, but I do have kind of concerns about how effective in the long run it would be, particularly if there's some slope on it, significant.
Okay. Any other comments? Ms. Brown?
I wouldn't be in favor of it either. From an aesthetic point of view, we can only clear so much of our property to start with. And it's our property. I'm a firm believer in being able to do what we want to, as long as we're not hurting other people, and I think this goes too far.
Okay, Mrs. Carr?
Yeah, I mean, I think slope definitely should play a part. I mean, I'm not really in favor for people that already own property, maybe moving forward. New construction or, change of, ownership. And before, so that they know they're buying that, and that's the rule now moving forward. But yeah, for someone that already's owned the property for a long time, to tell them to change, they have force.
So, I hear each one of you on this topic. I think the Lake and Natural Resource Committee had done a wonderful, effort, and this is beyond the line of duty to, oppose this, possible solution or possible, progress into helping the quality of the lakes with these measures. Now, I will ask the board, would it be of the board contemplation to wrap all these suggestions and place them as a suggestion for the applicant? Because we mandate to the applicant to definitely use the erosion control. Okay, that's right. Some of that is, even state mandate, isn't it? Had to do with,
Or you gotta do things so you don't have.
During construction.
so
Doing the
as
process.
we emit the permit, the applicant compromised to do some erosion control, and they has different alternatives in that manual. But they have to do at least one of them or some degree of that. So that said, if we bundle up all these ideas that have been well researched and well, some people are doing or not, put it as a suggestion for the applicant when they come. So add it to the best management practices. This will be the concept of having a buffer that is at least 30%, somewhat, and the principal structure to the water. It's a suggestion. That there's evidence or research that seems that we're leaning towards that, including the berm at the end, including, what was the other suggestion that you gave? Huh?
Elevation.
Depending on the elevation.
Yeah, considering the slope of the site. So wrap all that language and place it in the ordinance as suggestions to mitigate, help mitigate, lake decomposition or help improving the quality of the lake of water. The water, the lake, the quality of the water in the lake.
I said no on the ordinance part, no.
On the ordinance part, Mr. Seal.
Couple of thoughts. First, Craig's exactly right about how the opinion I expressed at the site visit. But on the drive home, I was thinking about it more, thinking maybe I had the wrong frame of mind. But maybe the more appropriate question is this an improvement? Not whether it's 50% effective, 75% effective, or 100% effective, or 40% effective. Is it an improvement? And I've come to the conclusion is it would be an improvement. It's not going to solve the water quality problems of the lakes by any means, but it has potential to, it should be able to reduce the amount of stormwater runoff and phosphorus runoff incrementally on a parcel of property. But that said, I still have a legal question in my mind. By the way, I really like, Nick, your suggestion, handling this sort of the way we handle the requirement for wastewater system inspections that it be done at the time of property transmittal, but or change of ownership, and I also agree with that slope should be in consideration. But the legal question I have is, right now, when we require stormwater management, when somebody comes to us for a permit and they're going to expand an existing camp, house, whatever, the stormwater management measures, the only jurisdiction we have is on that expansion, not on the entire grandfathered structure. And that's our bread and butter, is expansions of grandfathered structures. So the drip line edge, filtration, or whatever, which is the usual way people go. Because it's a well-established approach and contractors are familiar with it. And it works, and it isn't overly expensive, but you know, whether it's that, rain gardens or whatever it might happen to be in DEP's best management practices for stormwater runoff management. It's limited, our jurisdiction is limited to that expansion. It isn't for the existing camp. So if you have a buffer like this, how do you tailor that to stay within those confines? How do you tailor that to just the expansion, you know? I mean, maybe I have the wrong end of the stick here and it doesn't matter so much,
That's a good point.
but, it,
How does that
it's
correlate?
sort of like the next question after.
Yeah.
That we can't do this across the board unless somebody comes to us for a permit, 'cause we don't have any jurisdiction across the board. Under the ordinance, but once somebody's applied for a permit, we also don't have jurisdiction over the entire structure. If it's a grandfathered structure. We can't make them. Build it differently than the way it's built now. If they're applying for just to put an addition on it. So I would need an answer to that question. Before going forward,
On the legal point of view.
yeah.
We were following the lead of Auburn, and they do this exact thing.
Right,
Thank you.
That's all right, Senator.
Okay, I'll make a motion to vote on it as written.
So you make a motion to vote on the suggestion as written.
Yeah.
Okay, do we have a second on that?
A second.
Okay. So we have a,
That would be section 15S14. That's the new language.
that will be, I think it's the first page of this, handout.
You get an update, so the actual.
Right, the actual language is
Yeah, page 2 is the actual.
Oh, yeah, I see.
You have any open?
So I'm sorry, page 2 in this document.
Thought you had a comment, you have a
When?
comment.
I guess, yeah, I guess more of a question to Craig. Would you have a different opinion or feeling, I guess, if Nick's kind of suggestion that it only be applied when the sale of the property is made? So you're not tying it to the individual, you're tying it to the owner, the new owner at the time.
No, because I don't see where it's gonna make a big enough effect. To mandate that. And if you think it's gonna make that much effect, then they should be able to deduct it off the phosphorus runoff. And
I'm more concerned with what's running into the water, not, you know, I mean. The salt, pesticides, fertilizer, stuff like that. I don't know how effective this would be.
So, just to reset the board, we have a motion, we have a second, so we are now in discussion,
Right.
right?
When you talk about salt, look at Belgrade Stream, that bridge that goes over Belgrade Stream, that's a salted road. And all of that salt's going right into the stream. Why jeopardize landowners paying exorbitant taxes? And make them do something that the state does need.
That's a different perspective. Huh? Oh, Mr. Shield?
With regard to the motion, and the specific language that's been proposed, that we're considering, the clause that requires, legal instrument of some sort to be recorded with the registry of deeds, I think it's redundant. And the reason I think it's redundant is that there's already a requirement in the ordinance that for the most of the structures that most of the permits that we issue, we're not complying with this, by the way. The town isn't complying with us with this, the planning board isn't complying with it. There's already a requirement that a copy of the permit be sent to the registry of deeds when we're expanding a non-conforming structure. And we've never done that. We've never, or let's put it this way, we've never explicitly required it of applicants. It's in the ordinance. If somebody read the ordinance, they might comply with it, but nobody reads the ordinance. We all know that. You know, to think otherwise.
It
would
is
be
something we
foolishness.
should probably be doing, yeah.
So I think that requirement is redundant,
So,
at least in large part.
so then you're saying that, I can be struck out.
I think so. I mean, there's already, which is ordinance. So, you know,
We're not voting on changing it.
no, I'm pointing this out, that it's something that I have an issue with, existing language.
Just A, right?
AI two,
AI two.
yeah, we're stroking out,
Well, no, we're voting on it as written.
it is, okay?
And you can't change this stuff.
Okay. We're good.
So it's written.
Now, George, you said it's redundant. Are you saying that it's redundant of the expansion? Or are you just saying we didn't do it on the expansion? Why would we want to do it on?
No, redundant's wrong word, overlaps. Most of the permits we issue are for expansions of non-conforming structures. Not 100%, of course, but most are. And so, any non-conforming structure that comes to us that has a lawn and they're applying for a, expansion, the ordinance already requires that the permit be application, the permit be submitted to the registry of deeds and filed there. Why require yet another legal document to be filed at the registry of deeds for the same site?
What would, if they are applying for something other than expansion?
Yeah, then it wouldn't, that would fall through the gap.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know what the percentage is, but what is it? 75% of what we do is.
Probably.
So maybe that's there to catch that.
Well, I'm just pointing it out is I think it's in the existing language, since we're being asked to vote on the existing language.
Yeah.
I'm pointing that out just as a point of discussion.
Any further discussion? So we're ready to vote. Mrs. Zakaro?
No.
Mr.
I
Sturgeon?
didn't hear you. Yeah.
No.
Mr. Sturgeon?
No, what is, read it over again.
Okay, that's fair, sorry. So the proposed language reads as follows. We'll be in section 15S14. 14 says recovery buffers.
I'm sorry. Could you read
The motion.
the motion over again?
So the motion was that is being moved to vote on the suggestion that as it's been presented. So the suggestion, the language, I was gonna read it for you.
Are you gonna put on this whole,
No, just,
the whole
just,
document?
not the whole document, just the part that talk about the 30 feet minimum or 30% of the distance between the water line and the start of the principal structure, 30% of buffer. No more buffer being done there.
Sarah, aren't we specifically being asked to vote on page 2, the language that's labeled suggested ordinance language?
That's right.
Which is the whole thing.
No,
The whole-
it's just,
Huh?
we were just talking about buffers.
Yeah, it's
The no mo.
They no more both.
Remote, no, more. Okay,
Covered.
that's, okay. I'd say, I don't want, I don't want to improve.
So you're clear on that?
Yeah.
So let's start voting again. Mr. Sakara,
No,
Mr. Surgeon,
No,
Mr. Shield,
No,
Mr. Craig Alexander, and Mr. Langes no too, so 5 no's, 0 yeses, so the motion fails.
there, I'd like to make another motion.
Sure.
I would like to make a motion that we continue working on a possible vegetative, buffer strip. Along, properties coming to us for a permit. With, including but not limited to resolving any remaining legal questions of jurisdiction, including an element that it be applicable at the time of property transfer, and that it take into account percent slope.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
All right. Any further discussion?
among ourselves here, I'd like to know what other towns in this state are going through this kind of discussion that we're having here.
I believe they said Auburn, right?
Well, Auburn does this, I mean, they have a, they get their water supply from Lake Auburn, and they have a water district, I believe, and that they aggressively, do this sort of thing without throughout the entire watershed, not just, lakeshore, zone. Level has been looking at strengthening their water quality, and any one comment, I mean, there's a couple things. One, phosphorus is the limiting element that determines whether you have an algae bloom or not. So you're like North Pond or East Pond, where you have serious impact on the tax base of the towns that are. So that's one thing. The other thing was the comment that what you're doing on your property is not affecting or hurting your neighbors. Well, and this is sort of all of the properties are that have been developed are contributing to phosphorus that is potentially affecting the water quality and the the value of the property of your neighbors. So I would argue that this is an important thing from that standpoint, but
It's a common good.
yeah.
Okay, well, Mr. Donahue.
Yes, Sarah, the town of Rome has been kind of piggybacking with us. We started with the Lakes and Natural Resource Committee. Now they've come to have a Lakes Committee. They've attended many of our meetings. We have a great relationship with them. So I suspect they're gonna look to how Belgrade's looking at things. And I can't say they're gonna follow us lockstep, but they're very interested in all of these proposals we have here. Not that they're gonna accept them, but they've been working on it. I attend their meetings. So we're getting a little.
Collaboration here, yeah. Mrs. Thompson.
Oakland is doing the same thing. They're forming the Lakes and Resources Committee. So really what this is a budding conversation. I've been to all the lake conferences this year. All the towns are beginning to have this conversation. These people are beginning to understand that we can't abide by the old rules anymore. Our lakes are becoming green. And they're learning that, because we have everybody doing these watershed surveys, that it's because of the phosphorus that's leaking from the land. So we're sort of in the forefront, which is why nobody's got this yet, nobody's got it down. But we're in the forefront of having a conversation. So I really applaud George's proposal. And I think we together should keep working on this until we can figure out what we should do as a town. And I think all the towns are doing this at the same time, slowly, but I think we're in the forefront, quite frankly.
So,
Yeah.
Peter, we're gonna be the first ones doing this.
Well, okay, let me follow, again, discussion here at
Sure.
the board level. It's good to hear that, you know, our town, a few other towns, but I think it's getting to a point where, you know, we got a state legislature. We got the Department of DEP down at the state, and this kind of effort could be presented to the state, to your representatives, your senators, to come up with a better shoreline zoning ordinance than what we have right now. I think that's more or less the direction to go. And let the state make the decision, because what we do, the other state, Damascotta, and all the other watersheds. So I think that's a better approach to take, rather than just us and a few other towns being the leaders.
So that would be the change chapter 1000
Right.
thinking,
That's what that would be.
yeah, and how would we go about doing that?
Well, you talk to you
Talk to,
talk to a legal person who's familiar with shoreline zoning and all that, and laws, how to, you know, talk to your representatives. They give you a lot of direction.
Talk to the DEP.
But the reality is that is in effect right now. Actually, all of this is in effect already in those laws. What we were trying to do was to shine a light on the importance of saving our lakes. And doing it through our local town. And so we're trying, I think both things will happen in the end. But as I go to these conferences, I hear more and more about how towns are focusing us, because we're people that live on the lake. We're the people that see it turning green. You know, we're the people that need to do something about this. Because those of us that live on the lake are going to lose the value of our property if they're all green.
I believe, obviously runoff is the number one source of phosphorus going in the lake. But I believe, you know, it's what's in the runoff, and I think fertilizer is the number one source of phosphorus.
Those things are critical, and we really need to address both of those.
I think if we can tackle that, and I'm just not sure how much a buffer will, I think it's still gonna go in, even with a.
It's
a buffer,
questionable.
but if you can clean and get rid of the fertilizers and, you know, the pesticides and all that, that's, like, that's real danger. You
the
know,
research we did showed that it was really the development. I
Yeah,
mean,
like septic
and
systems.
but it-
which are-
septic systems, but lawns as well. And lawns are very highly correlated to phosphorus runoff and
No, it's just-
not necessarily fertilizer though.
No.
Really just the fact that they don't stop the water. When
I was reading the mussels
What's that?
mussels. Recirculate for phosphorus in lakes.
Well, mussels are, help the clarity of the
Yeah,
water.
but they recycle it instead. Phosphorus, add to it.
I mean, we just think this rule will reset people's thinking. One will see a buffer,
Mhm.
another will say, oh, why do you have that? And it's an evolution and
But
It'll
we're here to change the ordinance and not to, you know, educate the public necessarily. I mean, yes, we need to do that as well, but.
And I
it's
think
long overdue.
to be back on her comment, once you start down this road, it's gonna mushroom and more control, and for what? What are we really
Clean
accomplishing?
lakes.
Yeah, but the lake must have looked like this 100 years ago.
Excuse me,
We just wanted to go.
excuse me, time. One person at a time, please.
No. Could I
Benny,
have you state, can I read what I have and you can fill in the gaps? Maybe
Okay.
that would work better.
You know, I was afraid you were gonna ask me to repeat what I said. I have no clue what I said.
We like.
well, the good thing is that it's recorded, okay? Okay, the good thing is that it's recorded.
Go ahead and read it back,
Okay.
please.
I said, Chris made the motion, that's not it. You made the motion. Number one wrong. George made a motion to continue working, right?
Yeah,
On a possible buffer strip along properties for permit. I think I'm missing something, including but not limited to property transfer and take into account slope.
And
And
the
the-
third item was to investigate any remaining legal questions of jurisdiction.
Investigate further legal questions.
Of jurisdiction.
The property transfer kind of solved the problem we were talking about earlier. With just a portion of a, you know, an addition, and then how do you correlate that to the, but if it was it's the whole piece, it's the whole property's being sold, so you kind of,
Yeah, probably,
yeah.
probably right.
Okay? So I had, before, Mr. Jackson, I have you. Have something to say, will you?
I think it was, let's say.
Okay, Mr. Alexander.
I'm still not, I still don't see myself forcing people to change their land, put a buffer in, when there's so many different things, and it's water temperature. It's septics. It's, you know, they claim the biggest thing is phosphorus. I'm not sold on it. I think the water temperature is a big thing. I've been to lakes where there's been houses all the way around the whole small lake, and it's been crystal clear. And this has just been in the last year or two. And you know, so what's different? The septic's different. There, right there, everything's running off from the house right down into the lake. It's crystal clear. So, and it's populated, it's not like it's non-populated. And what's different is they haven't got major roads running by them. What's different is they have one gravel road going down the side with camp on top of camp on top of camp, all the way around. So I'm not convinced. And for me to vote for someone to change their land just because someone thinks it might help. Not it.
So, can I piggyback on what you said, okay? I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you on what you're saying. I think that all the statements that I heard at the table have a degree of the, a little portion of solution into the problem. I'm not sure, and we cannot really weigh out what's gonna be the bigger target, whether to solve the problem or to protect the lakes. The road dust is an issue. I heard this from different people in the community, and as they opinionate about that, people that have technical backgrounds and biology backgrounds. But also I hear people say, well, you know, making a buffer, you know, doesn't make sense that making a buffer will do. So all these little solutions, one at a time, let's say we have them parallel. None of them by themselves are gonna solve the entire problem. Do we have agreement on that? We have good kind of solution, list of solutions. But we don't have a unbiased way or quite objective way to determine which one will be the one that's gonna make the big impact. Do we have agreement on that?
I think we all want clean lake.
Okay, I like your idea, the berm, I really like.
No, I just think, you know, we're talking about it here, and I think, you have a law, right? And you can change it, but you need to update it every so often, kind of, as things progress. And for the individual towns to do it is not the way to go. You gotta do it on a statewide basis, okay? Now, this kind of research has been being done out here. It's gonna be presented to the state, at the state level, they'll listen to, they'll have hearings, you can have LDs and all that stuff, I've gone to them before. Be surprised, it works, that system works. In the state of Maine, it works in other states too, so. You're taking more of a local, very much of a local approach
Doing
rather than a
both.
state approach.
I,
And so I think, well, both, well, I think you may wanna focus more on the state. Because I don't think at the local area. We don't have the time, the planning board people, whether it's, this town or Rome or Smithfield, or you go over to Damascotta, you go to, we don't have the time. That's why,
Well, more and more towns are saying that they do wanna take the time, and that's.
well, okay, sorry, I don't wanna go back and forth, I'm just saying that's why I look at it. I'm
so,
practical,
Peter, I'm
okay,
hearing you too,
alright,
right? But this is the thing. You know that situation that we have in town with a property that currently we issued a incorrect permit and whatnot and ended up going to the Supreme Court. What the Supreme Court said in the state to us to do?
I see it.
Well, we don't even know what they say. So the point that the group is making here is that there's a group of citizens locally that are concerned about the water quality. So they come into us, some people are working on the state level, and we don't know which egg is gonna crack first. And I don't disagree that you are right, because they're better off going to the state. It's just like in the school board, we had this issue with the funding formula. And right now in our district, we have Belgrade paying more for the tuition than does Oakland. And we have to sit together as towns to decipher this conundrum, and we can't, because they have to go, the mandate is gonna have to come from the state. Well, so we already know that we tried at the local level, it didn't work. So I guess this has been, there's two pans that being fried at the same time, right? And definitely it will be greater, but much better to have the mandate from the state to get this solved. But we have mandates from the states that we don't like at all. 2003 wasn't challenging for us. During that one with the ADUs, and we are a water town, a watershed town, and those rules apply very well to city, not to us, so that was very difficult to take. So here we have the opportunity as a community to we harnessed all this great knowledge, and we have great resources in town to be able to do something about it. And I'm trying to funnel a spot of consensus that at least we can agree on one thing. So I'm gonna reiterate again. We have different ideas on how to go about helping to maintain the water quality of our town, because definitely is the economic engine of this town. Do we have agreement on that? That we have separate ideas? The buffer is one, the controlling the amount of salt that we put on the roads is another, having a burn at the end of the property, so as the water runs down, it doesn't hit, it's like a little wall there, a little dam. So we all have good ideas, we don't know which one's gonna make the bigger impact. Do we have agreement on that? We have a motion on the floor, but do we have agreement on that? Do we have agreement here?
Forward with the motion because we've already spent almost an hour on this.
Okay, so then, we're gonna vote.
I agree with you, Sarah.
Yeah.
At some point, maybe that should be a part of a workshop or something of that nature.
So I guess my point with saying that, Mr. Shield, is that we have a motion that is taking one of those items and putting it forward to help with the quality of the lakes. So if we,
Scientific.
well, and this is going back to what I just said, and that's why I was walking to see if we have agreement on it. We have different alternatives on how to go about it. But we are, without knowing which one is gonna be best, because we don't have scientific information of how much the dust on the roads also degrade the lakes, but we have a good sense that it does. Just like we have a good sense that this buffer will help. So we randomly have created this motion where we pick that one, say, well, let's work on that one first and see what happens. So here we are, let's vote on it. Just giving it, all I'm saying is that picking one and moving with one is giving it a chance to make this thing work. It's all the time, the same time to make.
What's the motion?
So the motion was, Danny, please?
George made a motion to continue working on a possible buffer strip along properties for permit, including but not limited to property transfer and take into account slope. Also investigate further legal questions of jurisdiction.
Right. So we had the first motion, we have a second from Mr. Sakara. We are closing discussion? Any further discussion? No, we're done. So we're gonna vote.
Who seconded it?
Nick. All right, so we're voting. Mr. Sakara.
Yes.
Mr. Sergi.
No.
Mr. Seal.
Yes.
Mr. Alexander.
No.
And Mr. Longa with yes. So it's 3 in favor, 2 oppose. Motion carries. So that said. Where we go from here, Mr. Seal? On that. So,
I would start with us posing a question to the town attorney along the lines that I had described earlier. And you know, that's sort of a go, no go kind of question. If the answer is, no, you can only limit it to doing the buffer in front of the expansion. Kind of a useless effort. If the answer is yes, you could have jurisdiction over the entire frontage along the shore, then we can have a broader discussion about how to bring it to, build it around like we have done with septic system inspections at the time after the a property transfer, and build in slope the way that USDA and US Forest Service and a bunch of other organizations do in their various soil erosion and stormwater infiltration guidelines.
right, is that something that, the question to a lawyer, is that something that you'll be willing to write up?
I'd be willing to write a draft for the board to consider.
Okay. So do we have to vote on that? No?
Well, we just voted.
Then, okay, so that said then, we promised 20 to 30 minutes to the Lake and Natural Resource Committee on this item tonight.
Can I make one final comment
Sure.
on the way out? Just to answer Peter Sargent's comment, in March of 2024, so a year and a half ago, the select board charged us with, the responsibility to conduct a review of the shoreline zoning ordinance, identify gaps and recommend ways to strengthen the ordinance, to present to the planning board for review, and to partner with the planning board in this review, to interface with a comprehensive plan committee. So that is what we were charged with. And I understand your time is limited, and we've been, I think we've been respectful of that, but we do need the time of the planning board to help us with this. I mean, you are part of the process, so to think that you don't have the time to deal with this is problematic, I think, from the charge that we had from the select board. Anyway, end of comment. Thank you.
So we have graciously give you guys time. We certainly have disagreements. We have been trying very hard to find a block of consensus. And this is the best we can do tonight. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
George, what is the draft that you're gonna be?
I'm gonna put together a draft, question. To pose to the town attorney. But I'll be obviously bringing that to the full board at the next meeting.
All right, so we are done with any further discussions tonight. We are gonna go back to item B in the agenda, which is article for the shoreline zone map update. And we have, 2 pages on that. We have,
The draft is what George provided.
yeah,
The one that doesn't say draft, it starts with the article is what Tyler has provided.
okay.
That's on.
So what I would like to do is to read the first draft first. And then I will read the second one. And we will go into discussion. Does that makes a fair sense, or you guys are good without reading it? Well, actually, I will have to read it because it's for the recording as well. So let me do that. So the draft from Mr. Seal that he will be provided for the board before for approval tonight is article blank. We don't know which number article will be in the town meeting. Shall the town amend the town of Belgrade shoreline zone map adopted by the town on they provided for the purpose of rezoning land along Belgrade Stream identified as lot 3 and lot 19D on the current town of Belgrade tax map 3 from resource protection to limited residential. The Belgrade Planning Board had determined that based upon natural resource mapping for these 2 lots, they do not meet the criteria in the town shoreline zone ordinance to be classified as resource protection district. So that's the draft from Mr. Seal. The draft from Mr. Seal was read by the applicant, and the applicant has suggested a different language for that article if we would consider, and I'm gonna read that next.
Yeah. If I can save us a little time.
Sure.
Difference is the last sentence.
Yep.
Additional explanation.
So that's it then, to what I just read, it will be, the following sentence will be added. These parcels need to be updated to limited residential to comply with the town's ordinance, and such amendments required a town vote.
I don't think that sentence is necessary. I go George's,
Okay,
though I can't vote. But
yeah,
that's-
well, that's your opinion, that's okay. Now, any other suggestion, questions about that?
Yeah, I would like to, why did you put that in there?
So being out of my wheelhouse, I consulted my lawyer, he read it in depth, suggested adding that so that voters know why they're being asked this question. It's not common knowledge that an amendment to a map would require a vote. So he said people reading this would interpret that as a vote on opinion. If they're being asked, it needs to be clear why they're being asked, that this is a procedural change. And without that information, it's unclear. So well, 9 out of 10 voters would read that and say, why am I being asked this if it has to be changed? And so I'm not sure why there'd be any opposition to providing, as Warren looked into, it is appropriate to provide an explanation of why there'd be any opposition to being more clear, providing a little more information while staying concise, not, paragraphs long to try to share. Necessary.
So this is the language that would go before, if we vote on it, we go.
Moving the ballot, yes.
Well. Not necessarily. My understanding is this is our recommendation to the town clerk and the town manager. I mean, it's still their job to come up with the final language, and they may change it, they may not, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
So it's not
Yeah,
me.
that's their jobs under state law.
I do kind of get the point of explaining
Yeah.
why it's being voted on.
Do you like that?
Yeah,
Especially if it goes, if they approve it and they
A lot of
pass it
people
along,
would
we
know.
know.
Because uninformed voters are worse than no vote. I mean, if people don't know what they're voting on, they don't have an opportunity to get the information beforehand. Asking clear and concise is crucial. Why are you being asked it? What are you voting on? Why are you being asked? We don't have the opportunity to submit all the information, though it's public knowledge, they can look it up. Most folks at that time want to make sure that they're aware of why they're voting.
So what would be the disadvantage of that verbiage? Why would we not want to keep it on there?
Any opinion on that, Mr. Seal?
I don't have a strong opinion, I don't have any pride of authorship. I'm fine with the language that, Tyler's offered up, you know, my wife, as you all know, was a longtime senior attorney at MMA, helped me with this because I've never done it before. And her recommendation was keep it short. But I agree with, you know, that the voting public oftentimes doesn't really understand these issues, because I mean, we're dealing with it, you know, and have been dealing with it, but they don't have that advantage, and the public hearing process is kind of a joke, and so so I don't really feel strongly one way or the other.
Okay. Mr. Baker?
I don't feel strongly one way or another, other than I think the last sentence essentially says what the sentence does before. And it wouldn't be before the townspeople if it wasn't necessary. So my thoughts are, sentence doesn't add anything, but it doesn't hurt anything either.
Okay, so, some,
Make a motion to approve Tyler's or.
okay, I will say something. Sometimes when we are so in tune with the ordinance, we almost assume that everybody else will know what is in the ordinance. So I see the value, maybe it's an extra sentence and maybe it's just adding more information that the public do need to have. But in this case, we don't see these maps change every month or every year. This has been probably the first change in how long was this?
Well, none of us, I don't know, none of us can even remember. And it's
So,
not on the map. Some foolish reason.
yeah, so I think maybe having that extra sentence might be valuable.
Just because I think people might read this when they're going to vote on it and actually not understand why am I even voting on this? This seems like someone else's job. But you know, that additional sentence lets them know this is.
So then you guys pick and you guys somebody will make a motion on one of the two.
I'll make a motion we vote on the article that was produced by Tyler.
So
The article what?
the article produced by the
That had
applicant
the added.
Okay.
with the added verbiage.
I'll second.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor from Mr. Sakaro and a second from Mr. Alexander. Any further discussion? I see none. So we're ready to vote. Mr. Sakaro,
Yes.
Mr. Surgeon.
Yeah.
Mr. Seal,
Yes.
Mr. Alexander, and Mr. Langes says yes, so it's 5 in favor and none opposed.
Okay. Now, the other blank on here about the date provided, on an old map. It's got several dates on it, so you guys need to choose which one you wanna use.
Okay,
I don't think that's how we should go about it at all. The way we should go about it at all is have Mary restart when the voters approved of that map.
Well, this
Our
last
current map.
approval, it's got several, you want from that look?
I mean, wouldn't we go off just the last approval?
well,
Wouldn't that be the most recent?
Yeah, it would, but I mean, I haven't seen that map, I didn't realize why it was there, but.
This is revised 3/12/2004.
And no revision since?
That's
wow,
all I can find.
No.
Did we revise some? Oh, that was.
We
way
didn't
back.
revise, what we had was a map that couldn't see any.
Yeah, we just had it redone.
And we had them essentially reproduce it as it appeared to be what we could see and not interpret what are on the map. That was probably done when when did the town update it? Did they update the shoreline zoning ordinance around 2004? Or did we?
Back when you were a kid, man.
Yeah. 11 years before I joined the board, and I've been on the board 10 years.
Townland shoreline zoning ordinance as revised 2025.
And we just approved this thing.
3/14/25, last revision. But that was a different.
She's saying that map would have been included with. When they revised the shoreline zoning, that would have been automatic.
But we weren't messing with the map.
So. The last time. The ordinance, so before this most recent amendment. Was amended in 2018. I recall that because I was here. The time before that was 2011. Before that, 1999. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the map wasn't separately amended.
Would you like to
On a
read the
different
notes
date.
on this map, see what it really says?
No, I didn't have a chance to look at it.
Well, maybe you should.
What's.
I mean, it should be like.
Can somebody read it for us?
Exercise.
There's a note written on the top here about that's printed in using current. Here's all map prepared on Navigato. There's a lot of other fine print down there that give interest.
Okay, so this. So the actual adoption date would have been 2003, if this is correct.
This map, that's my writing. And
We should look at it.
things that. I think that's the, I'll go back and look at the CAI company's correspondence.
So this was printed. It was printed in 2015, but the information on the map was from 2003.
Yeah, well, that's what Rich was describing, that it hung on the old town office wall for so long, you couldn't even read the damn thing. And so, well, Sewell Company and which became CAI, redid it for the town. Because we couldn't even read it, we didn't know what zones we were in. But there wasn't actually a change made to the zoning,
That's
you
right.
know, as we're discussing now.
That still says Sewell Company on it.
Yeah, it does.
So this isn't the actual map that CAI produced, or they would have had their,
Yeah.
Label on here.
On the wall out there.
you got one that says CAI on it?
Doesn't have any dates on it.
Limited residential.
I wonder if Gary had multiple maps going.
Oh, that couldn't happen.
Maybe we'll find we already rezoned it.
This one says revised, so look, I found all this.
My only point was, Hans, that,
Let's do it again.
you know, like with any other warrant article that's passed. Mary would have a record of
Yeah,
when the
but-
warrant article was passed that adopted the current version of the map.
Yeah,
Just like for any other warrant article. You know, and she researches those things all the time, so. I mean, in one sense, we just need to confirm, was a warrant article passed in 2003 to approve this map?
And what about the?
so maybe the map was done in 2003, the end of 2003, but it was voted the March meeting of 2004. That's what I'm almost predicting that's the case. The approval was in 3/12/2004, but the map was put together by the end of 2003.
So this, the statement down here that says adopted by referendum on 2/28/97 was approved by the commissioner. Is this worthless, or does that mean something?
1997.
Yeah.
What was your question, Hans?
Did you read this paragraph down here?
No, I didn't read
Well,
that.
that's what I'm saying, you gotta read this map and decide which date.
Well,
This one here.
yeah, the problem is. We've been using that other CAI map and it doesn't have, that one doesn't have dates on it, so that this is.
1996.
97, approved by the commissioner. Well, I don't know, I guess that answers the question. Well, this language here says. This map is incorporated by reference in the Belgrade Shoreline zoning ordinance. This map was adopted by referendum on 2/28/1997 and approved by the Commissioner of Maine Department of Environmental Protection on 5/19/1997, which is the effective date of this map. And the corresponding amendment to the Belgrade Shoreline zoning ordinance. I know in the 1980s, when I was on the planning board. The town already had a map back then.
Yeah.
But that's not, this map and that map are two different things.
What we have here, out there, is the CAI map that they took our. Reference the old map that couldn't see the colors with. And took out things that were not shoreland zoned, had nothing to do with the ordinance.
Right, like this one still has. Like these critical area boundaries, environmental advisory
Yeah,
areas,
yeah.
high sensitivity advisory areas, which mean nothing.
Then when we had CAI do the map, it's like, get them out of there, it doesn't. Have
Yeah.
anything to do with the shoreline zone.
But this really, this is the official map.
So which date do you use? The revised date?
Yeah, no,
Not the date.
no, you're right, Hans.
Okay,
1997, what date is again?
February.
May 19th, 1997.
Got a date?
Thank you, Hans.
Alright, that's not how we wanna do it though, right?
So I've got one more question on the topic. I was at the select board meeting last night, and. Knowing this is coming down the pike, they made the comment that someone from the planning board should be there to present the warrant article. Does that make sense to you guys? Is there someone planning to be there to present this to them? That's something that just gets submitted. That's what Dan Newman had said.
Present what your findings?
No, just to
Just the
present
language.
the language and the concerning questions they have.
I'm gonna be at that meeting because I am in the budget committee. So I'll be happy to help with that.
I'll be there as well, but
Is that at the next select board meeting?
That will be, we are having a town meeting in January.
Right,
So that, I suspect that what Mr. Newman was talking about, that when we run that town meeting. And the article comes to be voted. To present the article and take questions from the audience.
oh, no, I think Tyler's talking about.
meeting.
Huh?
At the next select board meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent word.
Yeah.
Uh,
Was,
That is November. You know, I don't know if you knew this. But I think it was 2 meetings ago. I came to the comment section of the select board meeting. And I was very clear on how this permit went about. And the repercussions of it. And the process that we are in. Because on the previous meeting, the same person that last night spoke again.
so you watched last night's?
No, but I heard,
Yeah.
we're living in a small town.
Yeah.
All right, I don't have time to watch all the select board meetings. I don't have time to take all the comments that have no basis because this legislative group, this group is charged with approving permits. So if you have an issue with a permit, you should come to these meetings.
He doesn't come here, but he stirred the pot enough there that there was extensive discussion after I left. I was there to talk to public comment.
So I think it's real disrespect to the authority of the planning board to have citizens go and complain to a select board, so the select board can come and whip the planning board. And that's why a lot of people in this town don't volunteer at all. So that said, it's inappropriate the way the complaint have been filed, or the comment have been filed. I'll be visiting tomorrow morning with the town manager about this. I don't have time to repeat myself, already a decision that had been done by the entire board in a public meeting with every possible transparency that we can, provide.
Brought up after I
So,
left.
getting back to the original question, Tyler's asking, is somebody from the board gonna be at the next select board?
I will have to, I guess. That select board meeting is on Tuesday, the third Tuesday of the month, which will be. I'm sorry, Tyler, I misunderstood. I thought you were talking about presenting the warrant at the town, meeting, right? And in that be the case, I'll be there at that town meeting. And the next,
I'm not even giving them time.
was that?
There's talk because this fella stirred this up. There's talk about delaying this for June.
Well, these kind of actions, can have legal repercussions.
I know.
If somebody gets upset about this, there will be no repercussions about it. But people in town don't seem to understand that. There are forums where this have to happen, and there are questions about this, they can come to the planning board. But having going to a select board to jack the select board and come and hit the planning board they're two separate entities. The only time the select board comes and charge the planning board is when we have to change policy. But we already admitted our decision and it has to be respected. And a story on that. So that said, I will go to the next meeting out of courtesy for the resident of this town. I will go to the next board meeting when I don't have time for this. I'm in the middle of a lot of projects going on. That's on November 18th. And that's at 6:30. I'll be there. So we're gonna have it's gonna be in the agenda for people to go there. For the planning board to have a time on that again?
Yeah, Lorna said it would be on the agenda.
Okay. What exactly we have to respond?
That's a great question.
I assume this is no different than when we've offered or recommended changes to the ordinance in the past that. They'll want a brief summary from us of what's being proposed and our rationale for doing so, which in this case is quite simple. Is there more going on that I'm not aware of?
There is.
So what is it?
They've questioned this, fella has questioned the legality of the subdivision. He has spewed complete misinformation that has gotten the select board off the rails. So they are not privy or on the same page as the planning board. So there was talk, well, I don't even think that we can approve this warrant article. I'm not even sure we're going to. I'm not sure when we're gonna vote on it. So those are the discussions that were happening last night before you guys even approved this, just knowing it's coming.
I'm sorry to say this and say in the public, but this sounds to me like a witch hunt.
What it feels like.
And if people wanna see this different, I would like to see the rules that they're following.
Maybe people don't realize that we got a legal opinion from the town attorney.
That's been shared as well. But when they just disregard facts, it's hard. You continue to give them a light. That's the issue.
I have no gain in any of this.
Yeah.
I have no dealings with any of it. All this have been done transparently. But the way these comments have been done in the select board, I copied the entire board about the video clip where these comments were made. They were not really appropriate, they were unfounded. And the way this being channeled and move around is creating a lot of heat that, is getting some people nerved up
Unnecessarily.
unnecessarily.
That's why, that's the only reason I bring this up to the board, knowing that they requested that somebody is there, made a comment that someone needs to be here, so I don't wanna show up to the select board to hear their review of this, for them to say, oh, we can't move forward because we haven't been presented from board member. I'm not sure.
Well, what
Our
authority,
procedure-
the select board has on a permit that is already approved? When there's no evidence of anything.
But you're gonna go to the meeting, cause the
Yeah.
discussions are gonna go in circles, so are you gonna prepare the article, update it with the dates and the?
So it's just a matter of taking the sheet from, the one that, the applicant suggested, and just put the date.
Well, let's be clear though, that all that Tyler suggested was the addition of one
Yeah.
additional sentence of explanation. The basic language is the language that I presented to the board as my recommendation to the board. We don't want to be adding fuel to whatever simmering conspiracy theories there are that somehow, that we're not doing our job properly. What we had voted on was an amended version recommended. And
Don't use my name, it's not Tyler.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
I'm just saying, but who are you gonna prepare it with the dates of the adoption?
Yes, right here, it's 5/19/1997.
I mean, at this point, we've approved this. This is not Tyler's recommendation. This is the planning board's recommendation to the select board
With an amendment.
at this point.
But my question is, are you gonna send it to Lorna?
Oh, I'd be happy to do that, sure.
With the adoption date, and all the blanks filled in other than the first one?
It's just, the only thing that we have to add is the adoption. We don't know the article number.
No.
No, Mary's got to do that.
But the rest.
So, yeah, I'll be there next, select board meeting.
Thank you.
Right, no problem. Anything else that we have to do, with this matter? Oh, and just for the record, again, I put an extensive email explaining everybody in the board, the select board, about what happened with this application. I don't know, seems that the board doesn't read their emails either. So I'm not very happy about this whole thing.
No,
Tyler, you said that they have an issue with whether the subdivision was created properly or something.
Yeah, someone has been there and claimed that this is wetland, and that he knows it is wetland, and that this could not be an improved subdivision. He will not take the information that's been provided. I'm actually meeting with that fella on site. I have extended the opportunity to meet with him to show him the property, to put this to bed, because it continues to be brought up at, this was the third or fourth select board meeting. And the select board, it creates a lot of confusion, and there's the feeling that there's a lot of animosity in the community, but it's all stemmed to this. I haven't heard from anyone other than this.
The thought point I was thinking is that regardless of whether somebody's arguing about the subdivision and legality and stuff like that, you own the property and all we're doing is rezoning the property, not dealing at all with the fact that it's a subdivision. We're just taking the information we have before us, requesting this be rezoned because it doesn't meet the criteria of the shoreline zoning ordinance. So the fact whether or not there was a legal or illegal subdivision really has nothing to do with what our request is.
what's so confusing to me at least is this is so clear.
And Lauren says the same, it's black and white, but unfortunately, it's not seen that way in certain eyes. And
Well, there's smear going on here, and, it seems that some degree of slandering, and I don't like that.
it would be helpful for everyone to understand that this is a process that happens throughout the state. This is not one particular individual carving a path. I'm facing a lot of resistance here, but there's a procedure in place to do just this.
That same person said right here in front of that owl that this map, it was not reliable, that as a taxpayer, if that map was not reliable, the planning board could not admit any permit. How uninformed that can be.
Oh,
So anyways, moving forward, I guess everybody, I show this kind of things once a year. This have been it.
Can I just make a comment, not with that so much as the map? I think my recommendation is Hans take that map off the wall out there. Because it's not this is the map. Map on the wall is what we put together as, remember when we were working on redoing the ordinance map? We were gonna make amendments to it. CAI produced this map without all the environmental things and stuff like that. And we were gonna take that map to town meeting. COVID hit, and that whole issue of re-adopting the map died.
Right.
And so what you got out there is the draft map that we were gonna take to the town to revise this map. Having that out there is not,
Well, it has no legal status.
pardon me,
That map has no legal
no,
status.
you're right.
This map, was legally adopted by the voters of this town. And, you know, I didn't even know that existed, but
I didn't either. Look, I'm trying to figure out
Hans found it.
when we were,
well, I mean, thank God.
how did that come about? If we were using, I think we were using initially the map at the old town office that was sitting in the sun.
Yeah,
And that's what we used when we had CAI draft a new map. That certainly isn't faded.
no, this has been in a closet or something.
yeah, I found it rolled up behind the top of it.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you did.
Well done,
Like
well
that.
done, Hans. Well
We're gonna
done.
raise it out.
Yeah, just don't keep it in the sun. Whatever you do.
Right. Next up.
Yeah, I agree with Rich though. That other one should be torn up, cut up or whatever.
I don't know about torn up, maybe saved somewhere, because that's the one that
Well,
we would use, but I wouldn't have it out in the public.
Well, this map's gonna be revised here shortly anyway, so we'll have to.
Yeah, right.
All right, so I guess we're done with item B.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
We're gonna go to all business, and we're gonna start with the certificate of occupancy requirement.
So. It might not be on the new business, but, I came across this in the MMA manual. That inspection consent safeguard against threat of fire. The part that's highlighted. Communities with 2,000 or more, that's Belgrade, above 2,000 or 32 something. Must inspect for proper safeguard, so this is probably something we need to work into one of our ordinances.
Would you say our population is?
It's at least 32 something,
That's over
it's over 3,000. On the next page, the certificate of occupancy. Pretty much says the same thing.
Are you looking for a pay raise?
No, but I just wanna be compliant.
Yeah.
Because it's something we have not been doing. And. Nobody's aware of it, so we're gonna put it in the ordinance and. Maybe put it on. Permit, you know, pending approval pending.
This Rob just adopted the last segment, but next.
It's. They just reprinted this, Manual and sent it out in 2025 January, and I was supposed to do it the other day for something else and found this. But I don't know if this is new in 2025, but I think it's been around for a while.
Hans, do you know, the law that they keep on citing, in, 25 MRS? They cite different sections, but the, does that say that towns have to do this, or it's something that they authorize towns? You know, if they vote to do it, they can't.
No, this one says must inspect.
I don't know anything about this issue. I know the certificate of occupancy issue came up when Gary was code enforcement officer. But this is new to me.
So what's that really do with us? So we only have shorelines, we only have a small aspect of houses. So this doesn't include, we can't make an ordinance in the
Now,
planning board to cover houses that's outside of shoreline.
minimum lot size. I mean, so here's, I put this up here, 25 MRS 23, where your duty to inspect buildings under construction. But that's,
Maybe it was my glasses in, what's?
What statute is that again?
Title 25.
25?
25 MRS 2350.
There's in municipalities that enforce move out. The building official must inspect each building during. For compliance with move back, and move back doesn't include. Towns that are under. I don't know the exact. Population,
4,000, isn't it?
4,000,
Yeah, for
but
that.
that doesn't include us, and that's what I tried explaining to you a while back.
If you read that that says in municipalities that enforce MUBEC. Must inspect each building for compliance unless. The municipality is enforcing MUBEC findings of a third party factor. So this is an exemption. Very clear, municipalities with population of 2,000 or more people. Building official must inspect each building during construction.
Yeah,
For safety.
but the other part is down here that. That cancels that out because. You know, we don't have to follow every little move back. Code and boundary.
So I guess. We read this differently, we defer to the attorney again.
I mean, if you're gonna start enforcing every little move back.
That's not what I'm
Code
saying.
boundary, then you're gonna be constantly just dealing with that.
That's not what this is saying, this is saying. Against spread of fire.
Yeah, but you gotta pick one thing out of the move back code to enforce. Well, I don't know.
It's about. Especially with The ADUs. And now the ability to have duplexes and triplexes.
It says right here, in municipalities that enforce move back, we don't enforce move back.
No,
Well,
we're
you're
the,
reading the
we're the
second
one of
paragraph,
the
read the first paragraph.
municipalities who have more than 2,000 people.
What's that?
But we're one of the municipalities with more than 2,000.
Yes, but then underneath it says if you enforce,
Yeah, but we don't,
we don't.
no, but. What I'm getting, what I read this is that municipalities over 2,000 must have a building and building official inspect each building, whatever. And then. My thought then is part about municipalities that enforce MUBEC, it's a totally separate thing. The first one talks about towns over 2,000, then it talks about towns that enforce MUBEC. We don't, but we are a town over 2,000. Is that what?
Can someone explain to me what MUBEC is?
Main Uniform Building and Electric Code.
Thank you.
I mean, I read it this same way that Hans and Rich does, but it is also the reason why I asked my question about. Whether the statute. In its entirety, not just the one section we looked at. Just simply authorizes a town to do this if they so wish, or requires a town to do it. And I would need to see the whole law to.
No, just a little more.
What was the number of the section? Title 25.
353.
Yeah, I think. Well, because I've never seen the statute, I just don't know how it's constructed, but a lot of times there'll be a section before that spells out what the overall. Jurisdiction requirements are, is it a mandatory requirement or is it? One that towns need to bring to the voters if they so wish to do it, or what is it?
So there's that in the certificate of occupancy on the next page, also spelled out 2,000 people. There's a requirement. Okay, so in this time it would be basically plumbing and the fire. Safety thing, smoke alarms.
And building official is the same as code enforcement officer. My suggestion is, we look at the entire statute. And if we're still confused as to its applicability or what its requirements say. Then I think maybe we should consult our town.
Like if this is a subchapter of something that we may not have to follow, but if we do, then we have to.
Right.
Well, that's not the case, and it's kind of our responsibility to keep the town in compliance.
I don't disagree.
Now, going back to the issue of whether there's some language above it. Could you just not call whoever it is that state official who enforces this or oversees it to?
Fire marshal?
Is it fire marshal?
It is.
Yeah.
Would their office
And
answer any questions about this?
They do all the building codes, and basically that's where this came from, so.
Yeah, that would be an alternative approach, would be to call the state fire marshal's office.
I'm just bringing it to you saying,
Yeah,
it
no,
belongs in somewhere.
What's this life safety code? I mean, although municipalities that does not enforce or has not adopted MUBEC is not required to enforce related state and regional building codes. State law authorize local fire chiefs, building officials, and CEOs with the approval of the municipality to bring an enforcement action in court. National Fire, this is because the state, well, I guess that's not it. That doesn't really say much. However, fire chiefs, building officials, and CEOs are not required to enforce any version of life safety code unless specifically adopted by the municipality. In municipalities with populations between 2,000 and 4,000, the building official or the CEO can probably refer to life safety codes provisions when determining whether construction is sufficient. However, a building official CEO is not required to use life safety code standards for this purpose. Because the statutes do not expressly reference the code in their municipality. So I don't know.
Seems like.
Life safety code. Life safety code, that whole parent section there. Is separate from certificate of occupancy. And safeguards against spirit fire. That
It's
does,
very clear.
I think. George, you know.
There is one.
I think we need to see the form.
Yeah, I gotta see.
bring it
It's
to
just a
the table.
sub chapter, but we don't
So what we doing about this in then? We,
Get more info. Look at the entire law
The
before
entire-
making a decision and suggest contacting the state fire marshal.
thank you.
Richie George.
So who's gonna be doing that? Is there, Rasmussen's gonna be doing that? Fire marshal? Who's doing the fire marshal? I know, I'm asking because I know, I wanna know, I have to do that?
So if I bring the whole book instead of just this page, you'll believe it? Is that what you're saying?
No. What I'm saying is, what is the action that we're taking on this item?
Who's gonna contact the fire marshal?
Is it me? That's what I want to that I need to
Why
know.
we contact them,
Yeah,
Yeah, because it's already written. Lost instead, I mean,
we just wanna see what context this is taken out of.
alright, so. We go. Duty inspect buildings. Okay. I guess I'll bring more paperwork for you to read next meeting. And you can pull that apart. Decide who you wanna ask next.
So I don't have to do anything about it. Just checking. Alright, so the next item in the agenda is item 2, minimum lot size. Ordinance. Changes,
Yep.
first one is section 5A and 2B. Setback from the right of way.
Well, this is kind of just to put on your punch list of things that need to be done. Cause right now there's a conflict, one part of the ordinance says the setback from right of way is 30 or 25 feet. Another what? Section says it's 100 feet, so. This is just kind of a list of things I'm gonna leave on the agenda
Okay,
to be addressed,
okay.
okay?
Why can't make a decision now, make it 25 feet?
That's your guys' choice.
We-
What the hell are you doing after? Was that?
Well, this is in the context of the latest state housing law. It seemed to me we want to deal with the whole issue at
No,
once
no.
rather than taking.
This isn't that, George, this is what's in our ordinance right now. Under that section, subsection.
So what is, which piece of paperwork is that? That we have here?
Oh, I didn't give you a piece of paper, it's just what's on the agenda, I'm just telling you what it is in your ordinance, if you wanna look at it. Section 5B1, eliminate the 100-foot bars. And then review section 5A2B, make sure it's written the way you want it to be written. Cause I think it might have that 1.5 times the height provision in it that you wanna eliminate. Or hopefully don't eliminate it in the past.
I guess my only point was that we're gonna have to revise this ordinance anyway, probably to comply with this new state housing law. I'm just arguing for, let's do it all at once.
Okay.
Are you talking LD 2003?
Well, it's successor,
Okay.
it's LD 1829,
Is the successor to 2003?
yeah, or amendment.
Yep. So.
Is that what this is?
Yeah. That's leading into the next ordinance change, the mobile home ordinance needs to be changed because of that, so 1829. Now allows 4 dwellings per lot within 5 years without going through subdivision. And I think that also is a stimulus to this whole fire safety thing, because people are adding rooms on and they're not putting fire barriers between living spaces. So it's kind of making the local municipality step up to the plate, make sure people are building things.
Well, fire barrier, it's just 5/8 sheetrock.
Yeah. But it's gotta go from foundation to the peak, and a lot of people are leaving open ends.
Yeah, so that's general, that's the only place that's required is from the garage to the house.
Unless they're making basement apartments, then they'll put it on the ceiling or have a ceramic tile floor.
Never heard of that.
Well, we've got one right now on Coville, Covelli. She built a triplex using a basement, first floor, and second floor, or third floor.
I've never heard of using fire rock in the basement.
Does the sheet rock is firewall?
5/8, yeah, it's considered it's a 60-minute burn time. Half inch goes up to it, 5/8 is a 60-minute burn time. And that's what's required from foundation to peak or an envelope. It doesn't have to go to peak if you do the ceiling in the garage. So. But the only. That's been the only fire thing that we've had to deal with. In this town.
So multi-story buildings. We have to just be the
No,
same.
it's happening sheetrock between students. It's no fire. No,
In separate dwellings, if you have apartment buildings.
I don't know about apartment buildings, I don't build apartment buildings, this is residential.
Well, multi-family dwelling units between,
Single families, this is single family.
Yeah,
you gotta have
I
fire
hadn't
barriers.
even thought about us having to get into that. Cause of.
So you got a bunch of information, who knows what these things say, and George, you're concerned with 4 stories. Being mandatory.
It was the town not. Has to have expand its maximum building height to 14 feet above what it currently requires.
Yeah.
So
Brings
that's,
us at 49 feet,
yeah,
we have to allow that.
right. Under this.
Yeah.
Can you just repeat that again, please?
Under this LD 1829, it wanted, it requires higher building heights, and the way it does that is it requires you, a town to adopt a maximum building height that's 14 feet higher than its current one. So in our case, it's 35 feet. Then lot size ordinance, so it goes up to 49 feet. And I had a concern about, from the firefighting perspective.
Well, yeah, now that changes the whole setback system, whole setback. Doesn't it? It's 49 feet.
Sure.
You mean 39 feet? No, 49.
No, well, our current is the maximum, the minimum lot size, not shoreline zoning, is 35 feet is our maximum building height,
Thank you.
and so 14 feet higher than that. So my prediction is every town outside of Augusta and Waterville are gonna be scrambling to enter into contract with Augusta and Waterville to have their ladder trucks come out to their towns to fight fires in these large apartment buildings, and by the time they get here, they'll be burned to the ground.
I have a question about the 5A, 2B, 5A. Were you suggesting we eliminate the 100-foot setback? Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Cause I think I'm just reading a little bit, but it's like the 100-foot is just kind of like a general to limit like density around water. But the 5A, 2B is for the, you know, the 2 feet per 1 foot height of like a small structure. So it can supersede that. Like if you were to put, you know,
Well, I think Craig in the previous meeting said that 1.5 times the height thing was supposed to have been removed.
We did. That's what I would recall too. I mean, that's just a general recollection, nothing
Maybe
specific.
redundant, but we have to do it again,
Yeah.
because it's still there.
Yeah,
The 100 foot from the roadway thing, I don't know where that came from.
I think it's just to limit like density and, you know, shoreline zoning.
Well, there's certain lots in town.
Yeah.
100
But the 5A, 2B can supersede that. On the foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
25.
It's just, I think, a general thing, but then the other one's more strict and allows for lower setbacks, but if you want to eliminate. Then that's all right, okay.
Alright, so. In item 2, are we doing any changes tonight, or this is just for information?
I just wanted to put it out there that it's on the punch list, I'm gonna keep it on the agenda for things that we need to address, otherwise it'll get
yeah,
forgotten.
right.
As old business, we're gonna
Okay,
keep
So-
that in a bunch of bullet points.
I think that's
what we
helpful.
talk about.
So we don't forget.
now in relation to LD 1829. Do we have to take any action to change any of our ordinances?
Yes,
So what's the deadline for that?
we've got over a year.
It's July 1st,
And I believe that
2027.
survey you're talking about is a good time to say fund towns for the changes that are required.
Right.
Because they didn't approve any funding.
So it's July 1st of 2007, Deadline?
27.
27, thank you.
But again, these things are gonna come up. We're gonna notice this change, that change, these requirements, we have a bullet list.
So did everybody got the email for the survey? Donna send that.
I thought it went to everybody.
Yeah, I thought it went to everybody.
I thought Lorna sent it.
The survey, I didn't get it. Survey for what?
This is,
Huh?
do we have the LD?
It's a survey from Maine Municipal Association.
Yeah,
This,
About
so this is.
what planning board members think the challenges will be to implement this law 1829. But it does it so in not an open way, but asking specific questions. I filled it out.
I don't remember.
Takes about 5 minutes.
I didn't get it.
It just.
Came out a
Ring
couple
that.
years ago.
Yeah, it just,
Yeah, it was like,
the
why was some-
deadline is tomorrow to submit it.
urgent matter, but
That's right. The one that everybody overlooks is this mandatory training. You're all gonna go to some mandatory training.
We're gonna have on this thing,
Uh,
so,
on page 4.
so I apologize, Lorna just copied me on it. I'm gonna copy everybody on it.
So this was from Lorna,
Yeah,
I didn't get it.
where,
maybe Wednesday or Tuesday.
you know, I
know,
take that back again. Lorna sent it to, I think, me and Hans, or maybe Seal, and then Mr. Seal reply and copy everybody on it.
Oh, yeah, I got George's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it from George.
So, the survey is there, it said the FAQ document can be reviewed here, so you touch that and it will be the survey there.
Do you want all of us to do that?
That'd be nice to hear from all of us on the day.
Yeah,
Where do I find them? This is.
It was the date, I'll tell you, the date was Tuesday, the 28th.
I also didn't get a confirmation. This is a side note on the that no mo. You had sent a text, I believe, and said, I'll let you know when it's confirmed Thursday, but I never got anything that was confirmed.
I'm back.
Yeah, also, that's why I wasn't there.
I try my best.
Yeah, no, you do great. I'm just telling you, that's why I wasn't there, because I never heard confirmation.
My bad.
No, it's good.
I assume I did say that to you.
Yeah, you said, I'll let you know if it's confirmed, so.
No worries. So, listen, I saved you a trip because you come from Portland.
Yeah.
All we saw was in the picture.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm not, I just wanna let you know that's where I was there.
I appreciate it.
That's it.
All right,
That have to be done by tomorrow.
by tomorrow, I think tomorrow is the deadline, yeah.
Yeah, I got it there.
I had not done it myself, so.
So getting back to the mandatory training. I'm not too concerned about that because it's been this board's policy that everybody go through the MMA training and as far as I know, everybody has. And so, bring it on. I mean, we've already done it, check.
That's what I said. I kind of deleted it because I've already done it.
So I guess my thing is that if we need to do something about this, I don't wanna go through it. The pace that we have in 2003. That it seemed that we knew about it and we kind of delayed it because we need to get, chemical involved or not. In a sense, I'm glad that we were pressing Karen for 6 weeks to do it, and it was over and done. But, I really don't wanna go through that experience again. I run down the board, and I'm true enough to acknowledge that, I was just, living in a deadline, so, I don't wanna go through that again. So that said, if we have a year and a half of this, basically, that somehow we have to schedule it starting early, as soon as we can. Maybe we're not gonna be able to start till we'll have funding.
Well, yeah, for my thought on this is two things. One, is there gonna be technical assistance as there was last time through KB cog? If you recall, though, part of the delay was the funding was delayed by the state, going to KB cog. And then there was a delay by KB cog kind of getting their act together.
But the state didn't change the law.
So that chewed up a lot of time and then we were, rushing. The second thing is. And this is just my personal opinion, I think it could be pretty inefficient if we started before the Department of Economic and Community Development. Which is the agency that implements this law. Comes out with their regulations to implement the law, because a lot more detail is gonna be in that than there is in the law itself. And they're on schedule to have something, I think, next month. In a draft. It's the last thing I heard. Because otherwise, we could go, this will take a left, and they'll come up with rules that say, no, you should have taken a right. We'll just wasted our time.
So we could just put it off until we get that.
Yeah, but it probably wouldn't hurt to contact KV cog and ask them. What they've heard, and are they gonna be providing technical assistance? I know Warner did that last time and arranged for that.
So are we moving to our item 3, mobile homes?
Again, that's both, it's gonna stay in old business. because that ordinance needs to be updated. The status of mobile homes has changed across the state. That is,
So that's different, LD.
that is not an well, it's part of one of those LDs, but. This is part, because of 2030 A municipality and counties. Regular, let's see, subsection 4358 regulation of manufactured housing. And. You go to page 2. Item 2 down at the bottom. Municipality shall permit manufactured housing to be placed or rented on individual house lots for single family dwellings are allowed. Subject to the same requirements as single family dwelling. Except as otherwise provided in this section. So basically. With these density rules of more per lot now, without going through subdivision. You're gonna see single wides. Jammed up on a lot. You can address if you want. Provided there's adequate septic and everything the same as if there were single family homes.
You highlighted
So
something.
this overrides minimum lot size?
Yes. Yes, or spatial dimension requirement. Has been tossed out the window.
So how that's allowed? How, just because the state said so, somebody in the state said so?
Governor signed it. It's law. So people are gonna be able to park back into mobile home parks. Basically, our ordinance, I think, says 3 or more. And now it's gotta go to 5 or more. That's one simple, one change. But there's more to be looked at.
Should we wait for a new government?
What you say, I didn't hear.
Should we wait for a new governor?
Well, you know, that's.
Hans, I just, it's screening through this Title 38 part on regarding regulation manufactured housing. My sense of this, and maybe I, because I'm doing this really hastily, I'm wrong, but it's basically telling towns what they can't regulate.
Yeah.
And is there anything that says we have to regulate
Well, a lot of towns
manufactured housing?
have made ordinances that have little poison pills in them to prevent. Densities, mobile homes, and the state has gone through and said. We're gonna pull the rug out from under all those little ordinances that towns have used to keep.
Yeah,
Affordable housing away, I mean, let's face it, affordable housing is a trigger word. But right now, modular homes are affordable,
right.
the most affordable thing they've got, and they're making them. So they're not janky like they used to be. They're not.
I mean, just the question immediately comes to mind, in my head anyway, is. Why do we need a special ordinance regarding, maybe if, once I become familiar with the ordinance, it'll become clear, but. Why do we need a special ordinance for mobile homes,
I think it's the mobile home park.
and,
Why?
but wouldn't we regulate that as a subdivision?
I guess, yeah,
And so,
toss it,
I don't know. I need to learn more, but
does that need a town vote to eliminate the mobile home ordinance?
Yeah.
So that's an approach. Again, this is bullet points of things we have to address.
no, I understand.
And then I'm leaving shoreline zone on there because the pesticide fertilizer. Keeps coming up as a topic, but. You should probably look at.
What page are we on that one? That,
No, we're talking about, all business number 4.
Interestingly,
we got any documentation on this?
No, it's on our agenda.
I know, but
Well, we haven't done.
We did, we have a packet on that. You put together a,
We talked about it in the
Yeah.
past and tabled it.
Yeah.
Oh. So what were you gonna talk about?
Well, we haven't got time to actually get into it, that's why we haven't talked about it in extensive.
Yeah.
So what we have for next meeting?
Possibly one shoreline zone and possibly the Cooley subdivision.
When is the stiff coming back?
For we first week of December.
7th is only.
Or
Probably that meeting, we should make sure there aren't too many applications, cause that's gonna take a lot of time.
That's what I was gonna
that's
suggest.
what I'm trying to. Yeah, I'm hoping Cooley's will get out of it.
Yeah, right.
Off the queue there.
Yeah, that one could go off the rails, so we probably just keep that. Right,
So, okay, so can we try to do the minutes approval? On that, very quickly,
minutes,
yeah, minutes.
What'd you decide about number 4, shoreline zone?
We're gonna table it.
Table it.
As Hans mentioned, these are sort of like placeholders, you know, just reminders to us so that they don't fall off the edge of the table.
They're gonna stay in old business until they're addressed.
are we gonna go from new to old or old to new? On the minutes,
Let's start with the oldest one, start from 918.
It's a busy meeting.
Praise the Lord for AI.
Ready to go on the first one?
Yeah.
So I will entertain a motion to approve, the minutes of September 18th, 2025.
I make a motion to approve the minutes. The 18th, 2025.
I actually have a couple of
So we-
corrections, changes.
Yeah, so, right, so let's do that first.
Did you get a
I'm
second?
sorry, I don't know, can you retreat the motion,
Yeah,
Mr.?
make a motion that we,
Can you retreat it? Because we need to go changes first.
You're saying-
Can you retreat it? Because, we have to do changes first.
yeah, I'll make a motion.
You will retreat the motion.
Pardon?
You will retreat the motion from now, because we need to do the changes before you do the motion.
You don't need motion.
Retreat the motion, take back the motion.
Treated.
Oh, I retreat the motion.
Thank you. So, Mr. Seal,
On page 2, under, we're under Belgrade Screen subdivision, Tower Evans, page 2, third paragraph. The, third line, rather than an incorrect, allocation, I would recommend changing that to correct, incorrect zoning, so eliminate the word and delete allocation and substitute zone. And then
So it would read changing the shoreline zoning maps to correct incorrect zoning.
right,
Okay.
and a question for others, because I'm a little confused by this statement. The same paragraph, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth line down, towards the end, it was necessary to avoid legal disputes, liability issues in the future. So the whole sentence reads, the board acknowledged that while this process might take several months, it was necessary to avoid potential legal disputes and liability issues in the future. I'm not quite sure. Well,
That was the voting to change the map.
right. But what legal disputes, liability issues were we talking about?
I think it was like in regards to. If we. Subdivided it and then he couldn't build on it, would he have repercussions to come after us for the taxes, additional tax? I think that was the one. I think Sarah had a concern, right? Because she was the one to vote no.
Okay, all right. Anyway, that's all I got.
So don't change that.
No, I was just confused by it.
Yeah, remember we were saying that had we subdivided it and then he couldn't build on it, but he's paying more taxes now because he subdivided, would he be able to now, if the town didn't vote to change the zoning? Could he come back and have repercussions to sue us because he's paying more taxes? And that was the only thing I remember.
you remember very well.
So I have one,
Sure.
I think I've got it right, is that, first page, paragraph discussion, last sentence. It said the board agreed to clarify the shorefront boundary measurements. I think. Is my understanding is that the applicant agreed to clarify the boundary measurements, raised the issue of whether they were straight line and how much they were. And they said they'd go back and reconfigure it and figure it out.
Yeah.
I think the word board should be an applicant.
Okay, more suggestions.
Yeah, the third page, North and South. Third paragraph, the board reviewed parking requirements, noting that 24 to 44 seat. 2 employees, the existing 4 parking spaces plus street parking would be sufficient. They had like 17 or 20 parking spaces on the lawn as well. There's 4 parking spaces and street parking, wasn't it?
Yeah, you're right. I don't remember the number of this.
Yeah, it
So
was,
this was on the last page here.
Third page.
Third page. The board reviewed parking requirements, third paragraph down under discussion.
Maybe we should just, since we don't recall the exact number, you're questioning the number 4, right?
Yeah, because this is saying the existing 4 parking spaces
Yeah.
plus the street parking would be, we didn't agree to that, they had parking on the lawn. I can't remember how many.
yeah, it was
No, but we-
17 to 20 spots or something.
But didn't we talk, I mean, we talked about the new parking space there and the green.
Yeah, but they talked about that being available.
Yeah,
I just don't remember how many they had in proposed.
Yeah.
Site.
Because we proved that with a condition that there be no street parking
Yeah.
on Route 27. So, oh, I'm sorry, I'm, never mind, forget that.
Yeah, that's the bar.
I'm in the wrong place.
Well, that new.
But what if we just eliminate the number 4, because then it would read the existing parking
Yeah.
spaces plus
Yeah.
street parking would be sufficient.
That's right. That's the move.
yep. Is that okay?
Yeah, so now he's in the wrong spot too, so I was thinking the barrel as well.
You know, that new parking lot we have.
So-
So
Is this
we were talking about, yeah, they had.
You talked about the church across this.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. This was, we did that because of the parking lot now,
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah, I was in the wrong spot.
Well, were you and I in the same place?
So you do have the same GPS, I guess. So, but we're taking the existing, after existing, the number 4, we're taking that out.
Or not. Now that you're in the right place.
Yeah,
But I thought there was more spots than those 4 in that. Even on.
yeah, they had the lawn and stuff a little bit, but I
Yeah.
don't care if we change that or not. I was in the-
Okay,
But they did have more than 4 spots, for sure.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I recall, but I don't remember the number.
All right.
So what, I'm confused. What about the parking lot, the new parking lot?
yeah, that's what we said.
How many, there were 40 spots, there, right?
It's public, you can't attribute that to any business, reserved business in town, like 25 spaces, so. There's no total parking.
Well, the good thing is, that there's 2, what do you call them? Toilets there, you can use too, you know,
When we're
Make
talking about,
another,
huh? There's a parking lot. We got 40 cars there, if we need to go to the bathroom, you got 2 different places over there now. 24/7,
All right, Pete, you wanna make the motion?
free,
when
not
we,
taxes paid for.
when we were talking about having 20 spaces and stuff, you weren't confusing the Corky cow with the other guy.
Yeah, I was.
I was stupid.
So I just strike whatever I said, it's just, well.
So, I want to take a motion to approve this minutes.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of dated September 18th, 2025,
With amendments.
with amendments, yes.
Right.
Second,
So we have a motion from Mr. Sergeant and a second from Mr. Seal. Any further discussion? We're voting now, Mr. Scott,
Yes.
Mr. Sergeant,
Yeah.
Mr. Seal,
yes.
Mr. Alexander, and Mr. Ryan, 1 in favor, no opposed. So those minutes are approved. Next minutes to be approved will be the ones of October 2nd. Do we need time to read that?
It's another cute thing of being unthorough.
No. No, we can accuse her of being bad.
Uh-huh.
I can accuse you of being bad.
Have that.
We reading the 16th now?
Yeah, no, second.
Okay, the second. Oh, you're all
I
right.
wasn't at that one, wasn't this one.
That's what I thought. I saw you reading the 16th. Yeah.
It was,
These are very nice minutes, Mrs. Morale.
I made a lot of motions. Yeah.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
All right, do we have suggestions or changes? No. So I want to take a motion to approve the minutes of, October 2nd.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of October 2nd, 2025.
All right,
Now seconded.
so we have a motion from Mr. Sergeant and a second from Mr. Sakara. Any further discussion?
I would just note that I missed this meeting, so I'm voting.
Okay. Mr. Sakara,
Yes.
Mr. Sergeant,
Yes.
Mr. Alexander.
Yes.
And Mr. Longet is 4 in favor and 1 abstain.
Can I vote on that one? Or I wasn't.
Oh, you can vote, yeah, sure.
Okay,
Mrs.
Yeah.
Morale,
yeah,
thank you. So it's 5 in favor, none opposed, and Mr. Shell abstained because he was not in the meeting. Right, those are done. Let's work on the minutes of October 16.
This will be the good one.
My God, that was 10:30 then, right?
What time?
Yeah, this last meeting, we finished it at 10:30. Yeah, are we ready to go?
Yep.
All right, any changes to the minutes?
I have,
All right,
on the second page where it says, structure should be classified as accessory structure or principal dwelling unit with conflicting information provided in applicant's documents with floor space measurements. The town attorney clarified that the key factor in the main Supreme Court decision was the size of the building, which was nearly identical to the existing structure, making it impossible to classify as an accessory structure. I believe that accessory structure is like 900, the footprint is like 900 feet small, isn't it like 1,800? The principal and then the accessory was like 11 or something like that, right?
it's 60% of the principal structure by
Right, but
footprint.
this is saying that, which was nearly identical to the existing structure, it's not identical.
That's what the lawyer of
Yeah.
stiffs do claim.
Yeah, so that shouldn't be town attorney, that should be the stiff's attorney.
Oh, okay, yeah,
That was their claim.
oh, okay, cause they're taking floor space into account, we
Yeah,
don't take
so-
floor space into account.
Yeah, I would suggest, I kind of stumbled on the same thing.
Yeah.
I would suggest town, rather than town attorney should read the stiff's attorney.
Right, yeah, that's, cause I don't know my town attorneys, yeah.
Attorney clarified that the key factor, blah, 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 that one.
Yeah, the stiff's attorney, not the.
Is it stiff attorneys?
So,
Good pick, that's good pick. Any other minutes?
I have some corrections. On the bottom of that page 2, Witten Road is actually Whiting, Whiting.
Thank you.
And first page, the attendees. It was Paul Bean, not David Bean.
Paul Bean instead of David.
Paul Bean. And the girl, the name at the form, her last name is Reihl.
Where's that?
Right before Paul or David Bean.
Oh,
Jill
yeah,
Real, it's Reihl.
REIHL, okay,
L. Oh,
IHL. Okay. Thank you.
And LD 1829 is September 2024, it's actually 2025,
Where are you?
page 3,
Page 3,
yeah.
what'd you say?
Down discussion, LD 1829 as of September 2025, not 2024.
Okay. Good.
On page 2. I'm not quite sure I have a good alternative, but I'm a little concerned with, it's actually the second full paragraph and it's the one sentence paragraph. The board also addressed issues with code enforcement officers' involvement, bias, blah, blah, blah. And we didn't address anything. We heard allegations of those things.
Okay,
And so I was thinking, eliminate the words also addressed issues with. And insert. Heard allegations. From Stiff's attorney. Of. Code enforcement officers involved.
Yeah, I was gonna say allegations is.
What's that?
I said allegations is, you're being nice, actually. That was an understatement,
Yeah,
allegations.
I mean, we did. We listened,
Yeah,
that's.
no, there was definitely some allegations.
That's what we did.
It's the same way.
Or any more suggestions, changes, amendments?
That same page, decision, the board noted the current application was incomplete and requires documentation. That wasn't the board. He had plenty of septic information there, that was another allegation from the, Nagel. That it was incomplete. Stormwater controls weren't required. And a narrative why the structure is necessary, did that come from this board or did that come from
I
Nagel?
thought it came from us.
But there's septic wasn't adequate.
No, inadequate, no, just that we didn't have any information about it.
Sorry, Dave. Yeah, but there are all pages of it.
I wasn't here, but I know previously,
Yeah, no, they had all kinds of drawings.
yeah,
They have an engineer.
Stormwater. Yeah, no,
controls
I guess
weren't
you're
required.
right, Hans,
because they had cement system and. There was people complaining I was too close to the property line, which is no. This was originally, I'm not saying, hey, that's what it was, I wasn't there, but I remember all the septic stuff from first round. They must have already did.
I feel like that first sentence does not come from the board, but it did come from Nagel, because he made those accusations that it was an incomplete application.
Yeah.
Just because he said it doesn't mean it's true.
I can't remember, one way or the other, actually, the septic system plans, but I do remember, and it was I that brought it up. The lack of any stormwater controls and no explanation on the part of the applicant as to why they thought it was an accessory structure versus a principal structure.
Okay. Just strike the septic plans part of it then.
Yeah, I guess so. I honestly can't remember.
so how does it read now?
Just strike through septic system plans, limit that.
Scratch septic system plans,
Yes.
so it says lacked required documentation, including stormwater controls, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Okay,
Okay, are we ready to entertain motion?
Yes. I'm fortunate to approve the minutes of October 16th, 2025 as amended.
Second?
I second it.
So we have a motion from Mr. Steele and a second from Mr. Scarrow. Any further discussions? All right, Mr. Scarrow,
Yes.
Mr. Steele,
Yes.
Mr. Surgeon,
Yes.
Mr. Steele,
Yes.
Mr. Alexander. Mr. Leggett,
Fred wasn't here. Sarah, Nick, Peter, George, and me.
Mrs. Morel.
Yes.
Right, so it's 5 in favor, none opposed, and Mr. Alexander abstained because he was not here. So minutes are approved. I entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Who's seconded?
Recommend.
So a motion from Mr.
I like
Sakara, seconded by Mr. Alexander. Any discussions? None? Mr. Sakara,
Yes.
Mrs. Sergeant,
Hey, yes.
Mr. Seal,
Yes.
Mr. Alexander, Mr. Langus, 5 in favor and none opposed, and we're done with the meeting today.
7.